Have you ever wondered to what extent a man can be shaped by his wounds? Logan, better known as Wolverine, is the personification of that question. Born as James Howlett at the end of the 19th century, the fragile and sickly Canadian boy could never have imagined that he would become one of the most relentless forces in the Marvel Universe. But what led him to become this warrior marked by pain and fury? Let's explore Wolverine's journey, from his roots to his most intense battles. It all started with a family secret. James wasn't the legitimate son of the wealthy John Howlett, but the result of an extramarital affair between his mother, Elizabeth, and the rough caretaker Thomas Logan. Tragedy struck James when his mutation manifested for the first time in a moment of rage and pain after his father's murder. His bone claws emerged, and in a fury he killed Thomas Logan, the man he thought was only an enemy. This was the first time Logan's bestial side took control. The innocent boy of before disappeared, and a predator was born. After fleeing his home, Logan began his journey around the world, searching for identity and redemption. Adopting the name Logan, he left behind his life of luxury and hid in the wilds of Canada. It was there, living among wolves and fighting daily for survival, that he earned the nickname that would follow him for the rest of his life, Wolverine. His animal instinct and accelerated healing factor made him an efficient predator, but also distanced him from his humanity. As the years passed, Logan was involved in countless wars, becoming a feared and respected soldier. He also became acquainted with the darker side of life, being used by governments, secret organizations, and eventually by science itself. In the infamous Weapon X program, his skeleton was coated with adamantium, an indestructible metal, making him practically immortal. However, this procedure left him even further from his humanity. Wolverine wasn't just a war name anymore. Now, it was the embodiment of a broken man, turned into a living weapon. But despite his ferocity, Logan always sought a connection with the world. When he joined the X-Men, he found something he didn't expect: a new family. However, his aggressive personality and solitary nature always put him at odds with his teammates, especially with Cyclops, the team leader. Even so, Wolverine gradually found his place and formed bonds with the other mutants. Perhaps for the first time in a long while, he began to feel that he could belong to something greater. Among the many battles and challenges he faced, one of Wolverine's greatest enemies was always himself. His berserker rage, which made him an unstoppable fighter, also distanced him from the people he loved. What made him a hero also turned him into a threat, and throughout his long life, this internal conflict led him to commit terrible mistakes, some of which he could never forgive himself for. Logan also fought personal battles with figures from his past, like Sabretooth, a fierce enemy who always seemed to emerge during the darkest moments of his life. Their rivalry is marked by blood and vengeance, but also by a complex mirror relationship. Both were animals, predators, but while Wolverine fought to preserve his humanity, Sabretooth fully embraced his wild nature. Throughout his history, Wolverine tried several times to find peace. He lived in Japan, where he learned the way of the samurai and fell in love. But tragedy seemed to follow him, and even in his most peaceful moments, violence always returned. It was in Japan that he lost his great love, Itsu, murdered by an invisible enemy, leaving behind a son he never knew, Daken, who would later become another of his antagonists. No matter how much he fought to find his place in the world, Wolverine was always a man divided between the beast and the human, between vengeance and redemption. The creation of Krakoa, a refuge for mutants, brought new hope for him and his allies, but even there, Logan remained on guard. What does it really mean to find peace when you carry so many scars? And now we ask ourselves, can Wolverine, after so much time, finally leave the past behind? Or is he doomed to fight eternally against the shadows of his own past?